4 questions, 3 answers. It's all I can do right now. It's all they got. Radioddity has been a big asset to me in this, and so if you would like to save some money with Radioddity, I've got a 15% $15 off coupon down in the description for you. I ask questions of my contacts at Radioddity, they ask questions of their contacts at Xiegu, and then the answers come all the way back down, and here we are with all of the insider information. Question number 1. This was hotly debated in the last comment section. I showed a picture of the radio and I showed the power button and the power button and the power button, and we all talked about which one the actual power button is. So, what is the exact function of the red power symbol button versus the power button knob on the front panel? And the official answer is, the community nailed it. You guys are awesome. Just as the commenter speculated, the red button with the power symbol is the main electrical power on-off. The power control is for adjusting the RF output power, perfect for tuning or QRP operations. And then the AF/RF handles the audio volume and the RF gain. All right, so we've got power on, we've got RF power on the RF power knob where you think it would be, and then we have RF gain on the RF gain knob where you think it would be. There you go. Question number 2. The mystery RCA jacks. There's 2 jacks on the back of the radio. One was red, one was white, and I thought these were just leftover colors. They made it really cheap to get a left and right audio pair already lined up and ready to insert in the back of a machine. There was no reason for that. Well, there was a very, very limited reason for that, but there was really no reason for that. So what are those 2 plugs? The official answer. The red RCA jack is the external ALC, automatic level control input. This is so your amp can say, "You're shouting at me, back it off a bit, bro." And then the radio will lower its power output levels to go to an external amp. And then the white jack is for, the white zone is for loading and unloading only. The white jack is your send signal. So this closes the circuit, turns the amp on, and then the amp does its magic and so on. Hopefully there is a setting somewhere inside the radio to do a little tiny bit of a TX delay, so that way, depending on what kind of amp you have, it works out. Do you still need a buffer with this? Who knows? Number 3, the dual SO239 antenna ports. So we wanted to know, why are there 2? I saw in the very first, maybe in the second video, that there was an antenna 1, antenna 2 indicator on the display, which led me to believe that there was an antenna 1 or antenna 2 port on the back of the radio. And there is. Then, is one for HF and one for 6 meters? Is one for one antenna and one for a second antenna with dual receive, 2 receivers, so you can listen to 2 frequencies at the same time? Or is it just a convenient way to have multiple antennas connected to the radio for different band conditions, propagation patterns, and experimentation purposes? And it's the third one. The official answer. The radio features a built-in antenna switch that allows you to seamlessly toggle between 2 antennas. Both ports support full HF and 6 meter band. However, to manage expectations, please note that the radio does not support true dual receive. It cannot listen to 2 frequencies simultaneously. Now, question number 4, the one that everybody asks, is price. This one I do not have an official answer for, but I do have an opinion. And you know, opinions are like noses. Everybody has one, and all of them smell. Where do I think the price will land? This is not official whatsoever. I think if they price this, well, I've got a lot of experience in pricing, so I'll start out at the very beginning. If you price it way too high, nobody buys it. Off the table, done. This is not a $3,000 radio. Nobody would buy this radio at $3,000. Maybe a few of you are really crazy. If you are, I have a PayPal address. You can send the $3,000 to me. I will buy the radio and pocket the difference and send it on to you. I got your back. 2, if the radio is priced very similar to the competition, but the competition is just a tad better in the buyer's mind, what they would be doing is they would be sending all of the people over to the other thing and telling them to go buy that. So the competition. So the comparison that people have made is to the new 7300 Mark II. Let's assume that the 7300 Mark II is $1,500 and the Xiegu G7250 is $1,500. Which one would you buy for $1,500? I know which one I would get. Which one would you get? Now, let's assume the same scenario but different prices. The 7300 Mark II from ICOM is $1,500 and the Xiegu 100 watt radio is $1,200, $800, $1,100, somewhere lower than that. Now you've got a decision factor. Do I want to save $500 by getting the Xiegu radio? That's a real tangible decision. So that's the price part. And then if you sell it too low, Normally you wind up making up all of your money in the bid war or the race to the checkout register, the shut up and take my money part. So if they sold it for 450, they'd sell 10,000 units in the first hour of this thing going on the market. And if their cost is $400, somewhere below the 450 number, they just made 50 bucks on a million orders versus making 400 bucks on 100 orders. So I think that this would need to be priced below what you would consider to be a premium radio in this space. And whichever your flavor of premium radio in this space is, think a little bit less, and that's where your price tag is. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more updates when they come out, and my newsletter down below, as I will have all the information for you. Don't forget to check out that discount link in the description. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.